Hi friends, I'm Udesena. Welcome back to our channel Is English for Everyone. I hope you have been waiting for tenses as I promised you in my previous video that I would start discussing tenses from this video onwards. So today, as I said in this video, I am going to discuss simple present tense as the first lesson of the lesson series that I have planned to upload in separate videos. Before coming to the lesson, I have something to tell you. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. It will be a great support for me. And hit the bell icon so that you won't miss any lesson that I upload, or you will get them immediately after I upload them, right? And share them if you find them interesting and useful. Alright, back to the lesson. Mainly, there are 12 tenses in English language. First of all, we will see what the tenses are. Tenses mean time. Here, time refers to present, past, future. Right? For you to understand it better, let me explain it with the timeline. In this timeline, on the left-hand side, you have the past. All the things that have already happened belong to that side. And on the right-hand side, you have the future, to which all the things that is going to happen, which is going to happen, or the things that have not taken place yet until now belong to. At the same time, in the middle, you have the present that refers to now, right now, the situation prevailing or the situation at the moment. These three times combine with other four aspects like simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, making 12 tenses altogether in English language. Actually, they are simple present tense, simple past tense, simple future tense, and present continuous, past continuous, future continuous, and present perfect, past perfect, future perfect, and lastly, present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. Actually, these are the 12 tenses that we hope to discuss in this series of lessons. So anyway, it is somewhat impossible for us as the beginners to cover all the tenses at once in one video in more details. So in that case, we are going to discuss these tenses step by step from simple to complex so that any secondary level student can understand. That is why today we are going to focus only on simple present tense, right? So we'll continue our discussion with an example. I eat. That is a sentence with a subject and a verb which makes complete sense, right? Here the subject is I, the doer, the one who performs the action. Here I have taken I because I am talking about myself. So similarly, we can take other pronouns like we, you, they, he, she, and it, or any other nouns, naming words like John, Roy, the school, the boy. Any noun can be taken as the subject. Here, the verb is eat. Here, eat is the verb of this sentence, right? To make it sounds more natural and meaningful, we can add some more information to this, like I eat breakfast in the morning. I eat breakfast in the morning. Here actually we have simple present tense. Simple present tense, these type of sentences are in the simple present tense. You might remember in the previous video we just discussed about how to describe our daily routine. And there we discussed so many activities, and I believe by now you may have got an idea about how to write some of the sentences describing your daily routine. There definitely we have to use simple present tense, right? For those who have not watched that video, I request you to watch it. I recommend that video for you to watch it first and then come to this video. Then only you will be able to understand this lesson very easily. When it comes to daily routines, that is one of the situations in which we use simple present tense. If I say I eat breakfast in the morning, I mean I do it regularly. On Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day. It happens repeatedly as a habit. So when we talk about habitual actions, habits or routines, we use simple present tense. We will take another example. We go to the market at the weekends. We go to the market at the weekends. They are also, the verb go is in simple present tense because that happens on a regular basis. Usually we go to the market on every Saturdays and Sundays. That doesn't belong to the past, not even to the future. Right? That happens regularly as usual. And if I say we are going to the market, that is completely wrong. That is very temporary. That is one of the tenses that we would discuss later in this series of lessons. That is continuous form, progressive form, right? The meaning is completely different. The idea is different. The action is happening right now at the moment of speaking, which may have started at some point in the past but is still going on, right? That is very temporary. Another example, I usually have a shower every day. That is a habit of mine to have a shower every day. I never miss that. I can't say I am having a shower every day. That is completely wrong. We can't talk about habits or routines in progressive form. You have to keep that in your mind when you learn simple present tense, right? I have to say I have a shower every day. And also I want you to pay your attention to some of the adverbial phrases we have used here in these examples, such as in the morning, at the weekends, every day, and usually, etc. Right? These expressions actually, like adverbs of time, are very common with simple present tense. We will identify some of them with the use of this table. Every is very common with simple present tense. Every day, every week, every month, every year, every morning, every afternoon, and so on. I visit my grandparents every weekend. Regular actions like that can be stated in the simple present tense with the use of these expressions. We can mention the days as well. On Sundays, on Mondays, likewise. For an example, he goes to the church on Fridays. Every Friday he goes to the church. That is a habit. Also, we can use at the weekends. She goes to the bed early at the weekends. Similarly, we can use in the summer, in the winter, in the rainy season. I don't go out in the winter, for instance, right? In addition to that, we can mention these expressions like once a week, twice a week, like that. For example, I go for swimming twice a week in the summer. So all these are sentences in the simple present tense. Apart from those, we may also use frequency adverbs, which tell us how many times, how often some particular action take place. For an example, I usually have a shower every day. In this example, usually is a frequency adverb. That is, according to the given percentage, around 90%. That means not every day, but almost every day. Almost every day I have a shower. I usually have a shower every day, in the sense I have a shower almost every day. Here the usually that term is a frequency adverbs. In that way we have a number of frequency adverbs in the language. Another example, she always wears a sari to school. Always. That is 100% of the time. 100% of the time we see her in the school, she is wearing a sari. That is the meaning of that. Always mean 100%. On the other hand, we have in the negative meaning never. That is 0%. That action doesn't happen at all. For an example, my father never drinks tea in the morning. Right? That means he doesn't drink tea at all, right? He never drinks tea. Maybe he doesn't like it, right? And also, if I say sometime, I sometime work in the garden. The frequency of that action is 50-50, in the middle for sure. So frequency adverbs are used to tell us how often particular action happens, right? Likewise. Now let's move on to the next usage of simple present tense. That is to talk about permanent situations. For an example, I teach English. I started teaching English in 2009. By now, I have been teaching English for more than 10 years. I am not going to change it in the future. That means I am going to work as a teacher, as an English teacher in the future as well. That is more or less permanent situation. When talking about this type of situations, we use simple present tense. But remember, it is wrong to say, I am teaching English. That is very temporary, right? If I want to tell you what I am doing now, right now at the moment of speaking, that sentence is correct there, right? I am teaching English. Now you are watching my video. But here in the simple present tense, the idea is completely different. We are not thinking about now. We just talk about things in general. Another example, my cousin lives in India. India is his permanent country now. He started living there in the past and he has been living there for years. By now it has become his permanent living place, right? It doesn't mean that he is living there for a couple of weeks or only for holidays. It is wrong to say he is living there. He is living in India because that place is permanent, right? He lives in India. Another example, Roy speaks Tamil. Tamil is his mother tongue. Definitely he is not going to forget his mother tongue, and that is the language he knows better. And it is wrong to say he is speaking Tamil. The correct form is he speaks Tamil. To describe this type of permanent situations, we use simple present tense, right? Another situation where we use simple present tense is to talk about facts about the world. For an example, the sun rises in the east. That is really permanent, right? Facts about the world. The water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Nobody can change. It never changes. These are the universal truth, right? Facts, true facts about the world. So another example, the earth goes around the sun. Those things actually never changes. They are really permanent. So these type of situations are stated with the use of simple present tense, right? We use simple present tense to talk about universal truth, general things in the world, the facts about the world. By now, we have learned about the most common situations where we use simple present tense, right? One important factor is there to be considered when we make sentences, right? Let's learn about that with this example. I work, right? Let's see what happens to the verb when it is taken with different subjects, right? I work, we work, you work, they work, children work, and these girls work. Here, work in each and every sentence is the same. Nothing has happened to the verb, right? You may notice here all the subjects are in plural. When we take singular subjects like he, she, it, Roy, the child, he works, she works, it works, Roy works, the child works. So now you can clearly see the difference. Actually, it is a very important rule, a grammatical rule you need to keep in your mind when you make a sentence in simple present tense, right? To add s at the end of the verb when the subject is singular, right? Especially when the subject is singular, we have to change the verb into singular form, right? That is what has happened here. In order to have a better understanding, I will take a small part of the text that I presented you in my previous video about daily routine, and let's have a look at it and try to identify the differences that happens when the subject changes into singular form. I wake up early in the morning. She wakes up early in the morning. Then I get up at 5:30 a.m. Then she gets up at 5:30 a.m. Next, I drink a glass of water. Next, she drinks a glass of water. After that, I go to the bathroom. After that, she goes to the bathroom. There, I go to the toilet, brush my teeth, and wash my face. There, she goes to the toilet, brushes her teeth, and washes her face. Next, I have my breakfast. Next, she has her breakfast. After having my breakfast, I get dressed. After having her breakfast, she gets dressed. I leave home for school around 7:30 a.m. She leaves home for school around 7:30 a.m. Alright, by now I believe that you may have got a general idea about simple present tense. Anyway, using the knowledge that you have gained from this video, this lesson, we will try out the following activity. If you want, just pause the video and decide on the answers. There are two options. What you have to do is you have to select the best one, right? Correct one. Right, number one. Peter speaks two languages. Here the subject Peter is singular. Then we have to take the singular verb speaks. We have to add s at the end of the verb speak. Speaks, right? Number two. In our country, the banks open at 9:30 in the morning. Here the subject is banks. The banks. So that is a plural subject. So we take open. The National Museum closes at 5 o'clock in the evening. The subject is the National Museum, that is singular. So we have to take the singular form of the verb closes. We have added s to the verb close. The National Museum closes at 5 o'clock in the evening. Number 4. Julia is a teacher. She teaches English. Here the subject is she. So we have changed the verb teach into teaches. Number 5. Food is expensive. It costs a lot of money. Here the subject it is singular. Then we have to take a singular verb costs. Number 6. Shoes are expensive. They cost a lot of money. Here the subject is they. They is plural. So we have to take the plural form of the verb. That means base form of the verb cost. Number 7. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. We know that water is singular. So we use boils. Water boils. Number 8. Children have breakfast at 8 in the morning. Here the subject children is plural. So therefore we have to take have. Children have. Next one, number 9. She has breakfast at 8 in the morning. Here the subject is she. That is singular. So we have to take has. Last one. John and I are good friends. I like him and he likes me. Here you can see there are two sentences. Simple sentences. I like him. Here the I, the pronoun is plural. That is considered as a plural one. So we have taken like. And he likes me. The subject is he. According to the singular subject he, we have taken a singular verb. Likes, we have changed the verb into singular form by adding s. All right. Now let's discuss about some of the spelling changes that we need to make in simple present tense, right? As I mentioned earlier, we need to make these changes only if the subject is singular. Singular subjects like she, he, it, or other singular nouns, the boy, the flower, likewise, right? The general rule is adding s to the verb. That happens with most of the verbs in English when the subject is singular. That is how the verb is converted into singular form. Like in these verbs, come comes, eat eats, run runs, sleep sleeps, etc. But in some cases, that doesn't happen. We can't add only s. Here, if the verb ends in s, sh, ch, x, and o, we need to add es. As in these examples, kiss kisses, wash washes, teach teaches, and fix fixes. When we listen to the words, also we can notice the s sound in such words like kisses, washes. S sound is clear, right? Apart from that, there are two verbs which we mainly use, go and do. They also take es at the end when they changes into singular form. Go becomes goes, do becomes does. Also, when the verb ends in y, we need to add ies instead of y. For examples, dry dries, cry cries, fry fries, study studies, and so on, right? But here, although the verb like buy, play, enjoy end in y letter, we don't add ies instead of y. We just add s. Here we apply this general rule. The reason why we do so is that those verbs end in y preceded by a vowel like a, e, I, o, u. You know that there are 26 letters. Out of them, 5 are vowels, a, e, I, o, u, and other 21 are consonants. So here in the verb by, y letter is preceded by the vowel u. So we just add s to the verb. Also, there are few irregular verbs which we cannot change with any of these above rules that we discussed, like have and be. They are the very common ones. Have becomes has, be verb changes into singular forms as am, is, are. Alright, I believe that you may have got an idea about simple present tense and you will be able to use the simple present tense in your real life situations. And thanks for watching. We will meet again with an interesting lesson. Till then, bye.